4:20 in the morning. They put all the bloody lights on. Negative, 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 and all the fucking lights go on. 4:20 in the morning. I was like, what the fuck? Because the previous day I had asked them like saying, what time will the operation be done? Because until then we had no idea what was going on or what time or any of those things. So I was like asked and they told me, okay, hit the high wind isalla operation okkama ivara karna. I was like, fucking at least I know. The high wind I'll be done, back in the ward, be passed out from the pain and the medication and whatever the fuck it is, and get on with it from there, right? So for the 4:20 in the morning, everybody's up, getting until washers on, uh, getting getting dressed, putting the white stuff on, shirt, sarong. All that was missing was some silk and all that was missing was some flowers and some puja vatti and shit. So got ready, and then again, like 4:20 in the fucking morning, and you're waiting, right? Till like 8 something. No, not 8 something, 7 something. At which point they come into like, operation karla katti okka venda. Then you go, you get a little tag on your hand saying who you are and what number you are and all that kind of stuff that goes on your hand. And then again, we are carted in a row of ducks down to the operating theatre, where we had to kind of sit and wait our turn, right? So while we are there, like so many other people get brought in. There were two mothers who came in with little kids who were like 4 to 5 years old who also needed ops, and I was thinking, oh, bad break. You know, they are too fucking young to have to go through this shit. But they were there. There was a whole bunch of other women also who were there for different things, and it was basically, I think, like a whole morning of multiple surgeries. I don't know how many of those were hernias or whatever that was. I know in my batch there were a few hernias, and we've all been taken in like one by one to get done. And then the doctor walks in, looks around, and that was me. I was like, oh fuck, it's time to get that massive fucking needle jabbed into my back. Can't wait. So I was like, you got this, bro. Let's do this. So I walk in there, expecting it to be, like in the movies, expecting like to be in the movies. I walk in there, expecting to be like very quiet and like very serious and all that kind of stuff. But it's completely the opposite. It's like buggers walking all over the fucking place, people pushing different things and all this kind of things all going on. I'm holding my paperwork, walk in and they look at the paperwork and they're like, going through all the papers. And COVID again. Like I said before, like I'm like, I don't fucking know. They did the test. If it's not there, don't fucking look at me. That's not my fucking job to put that shit in there. Because then they're like big how about that. Doctors talking, nurses talking, orderlies talking, everybody's talking. I'm sitting there thinking, there's a big giant needle that's gonna go in my back in like a few minutes. That's all I'm thinking about. That's all I'm hearing in my head. Giant needle in my spine. Can't wait. Fucking fantastic. Let's do this. I'm looking around like, who's got the giant needle in their hands? And I think to myself, okay, don't look at the fucking needle. Right? I don't have a problem with fucking needles. Injections are not a problem. But after that bugger said, thundering fucking needle in your back, I'm thinking, fuck, there's gonna be like a needle they use on fucking horses or some shit gonna go in my back. I'm like, not gonna be fun. So I'm like, don't look at the fucking needle. Be cool. Don't be an idiot. Just chill out. It has to happen. It has to happen. So just get on with it. Manage it the best you can. Fucking get on with it. So they put me on a fucking one of those bed things, roll me into one little room, and at this point I have in my hand with my paperwork a little a bottle which is the anesthetic that goes in your back. So they give it to each patient. You hold this, take it with you, that is yours. So hand it over. So they put all the number and they're just having a nice conversation about how the COVID vaccine has turned up in the hospital and they can all go and get it, and if they're going to get it and when they're going to get it. And it's a big conversation. I'm in the middle there with my shirt off. They gave me a pillow to hug like this. and kind of bend over, stretch out my back. So I was just like that while all this was happening around me, and I'm thinking, yeah, don't look at the needle, don't look around, just look forward and wait for shit to go down. Yeah. And then just like that, they were like, Harigan, I took the bottle, whatever, and I can hear them preparing behind me. And then next thing you know, okay, they හෙල්ලෙන්න එපා. ඔහොම ඉන්න දඟලන්න එපා. මේ ගැස්සෙන්න එපා. මේ ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක ගහනවා කොන්දට. ඔය කොට්ටය අල්ලගෙන ස්ටාර්ට් නැගිලා. හොඳට නැගිලා ඉන්න ස්ටාර්ට් දෙන්න pushing me down. මේ ඔළුව බිමට දාලා ඉන්න. So it's like, oh, here it fucking comes. Yeah, it's like waiting there. And then, of course, they poke the needle in. And just so you know, it wasn't a massive fucking needle. It was like a normal size needle. From how it felt, it wasn't that bad. So it goes in, I'm like, like trying to be tough and all that shit. I'm like, oh, God, just holding in, not crying or anything, just holding it in. And then they start talking like, හරි නෑ වගේ නේද මේක මේ පොඩ්ඩක්. And then they start shaking it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? That shit is in my spine, don't shake that shit. So apparently I think it's supposed to get to a certain spot where I think some kind of liquid comes out that kind of tells you it's in the right place. And they're like, එළියට එන්නේ නෑනේ මේ හරියට නෙමෙයි වගේ. And then I can feel him like, moving it while it's inside. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get on with the fucking thing, like sort it out. And then I think they had to pull it back out. Fantastic. And then push it back into another spot. And that spot hit the spot. Because as soon as that fucking thing went in, it hit like a fucking nerve or the bloody spinal thing. And it sent this sharp fucking, like a lightning strike, which went to my, it went to my right nut and to my right toe at the same time. And I was like, fuck. And then they're like, hari. They got to the right fucking spot. Okay, I was like, fucking thank you for that. Right nut and right toe. Got a little lightning strike. That meant X marked the spot. And then they injected the anesthetic into it and said, Hari then Hansi Venda, and it'll take effect and whatnot. And then I started feeling my toes going cold. I was like, okay, so it's taking effect. And little by little, the numbness started setting in. I was pinching myself because I was like, I need to make sure this shit is working before he starts fucking cutting me open, because I'm gonna feel that shit otherwise. And so I'm like pinching myself, a little nervous, thinking, shit, is it working? Is it working? Is it working? And it's like I can feel it like little by little coming up. And at one point, one of the orderlies or nurses came and said, I'm like, nah, තාම පොඩ්ඩක් රිදෙනවා, because I was pinching my legs. තාම පොඩ්ඩක් රිදෙනවා. I'm pinching my upper body, because the upper body is fine. It's below wherever they inject, that kind of goes now. Upper body is fine, and everything else is kind of going now. So I'm pinching upper body and below and thinking, no, I can feel it. And it's like, තාම තේරෙනවද? I'm like, yeah, තාම තේරෙනවා. He's like, එහෙනම් තාම පොඩ්ඩක් තියෙනවා. Then of course eventually a few minutes later, everything was fucking numb. I couldn't feel a thing. Then they're like, hari lesti. So I was being wheeled in, someone was being wheeled out. So then, go straight under the lights, transferred over. And now above me, as you've seen in movies and operating theaters, you got that big fucking light, right, that they kind of put over everything. So from that, I can see what's happening, because they put a little curtain to block you from your midriff downwards. So you can't see what's happening. And from that I can see, like, first thing, sarong gone. It's like, oh, shit. Not that it's a surprise, that's what happens. But then when you see it happening, you're like, so from that fucking light, through the reflection, I can see my junk out there. Everything, like, in the open, people walking on. Again, like I said, it's not like the movies, it's not very quiet and serious and calm and whatever. It's like people just talking about random shit, family shit, what happened over the weekend, what they ate, you know, all that shit going on about the vaccination, about COVID, all that conversation going on. And doctor starts to like rub these anesthetics and whatnot, no, sorry, disinfect, whatever they fucking call it, all over my stomach and legs and everywhere and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, shit, so I can see what's gonna happen, right? Because to a certain point, I was curious. I would have liked to see them cutting it. I know that sounds weird, but I wanted to kind of see because it's first time doing fucking op. I kind of wanted to kind of see them cutting it and like see what that inside might look like and all this. Not that I was seeing it clearly, but I kind of wanted to see it a little bit. But then they fucking moved the light to help them, obviously. So then I couldn't see shit, and I didn't know what the hell was going on because I couldn't feel anything. Pata pata pata. I just felt my body being tugged around a few times. Didn't know what the hell was exactly going on. Of course, they're just talking, pata 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 pata, and the whole thing was done in like 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. I was something like that, like Jesus on the cross. I just like on that. I think I had no control over what is going on. Pata pata pata. Sew me back up, and then wheeled out back into the same room I was in before for a little while till for some reason I don't know what it was, just to monitor, I think, just because it's just after the op. And then I was wheeled back into my bed in the ward and just left there, which and I was thinking I wanted to get past this shift and get to the point where I was recovering, and then I know it's all done and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I was at that spot. So it's just there, waiting for the numbness in my legs to kind of go away. It took a few hours. They said it'll take like 4 to 5 hours before the feeling comes back into my legs and my lower body. So I just lay in bed waiting for that to happen, tried to sleep as much as I could because there's nothing else I could do anyway. I couldn't like move around or anything. And then the interesting thing that happened next.